Hey everybody, welcome to Ross Ranch for some fun science with gummies. Earlier today, um, I was discussing the results of my gummy bear project, which we'll go into here in a few minutes with my wife. Um, I had the added benefit of my wife being a nurse practitioner, so I am the nurse practitioner's husband, and she kind of helps me relate these projects to the importance in the real world, specifically when we talk about uh, items that are hypertonic, isotonic, and how it equates to which IV fluids to use in which patient. So while this morning, as I was taking pictures of my gummies, I was kind of like, oh yeah, it's a fun little chemistry project. By the end of this evening, as I'm actually recording this after a long solid day at the beach, because it is Memorial Day weekend, uh, it totally makes sense what the purpose of the project is and how important it is going forward. So, talking about the project to begin with, everybody knows, and it's put out in the description of the project, that gummy bears are made out of sugar, starch, and gelatin. Gelatin is a polymer, um, which basically gives the gummies its structure, makes it look the way we see it. Um, Because the gummies contain no water, when you add them to water, they swell until they reach a point where the water molecule concentration on the outside equals the water molecule concentration on the inside. So for the instructions, we were told to get some gummies, specifically gummy bears, but I already had gummies, so I used those. And soak them for 6 to 10 hours, which for me ended up being overnight, in a saltwater solution and a tap water solution and see what would happen. Now, in the picture next to it, it also shows a distilled water gummy. So I did that as well, even though I didn't see it in the directions, and it kind of gave me some variance in my results, which we'll go through. If you're looking at the my presentation or my slide, I have my pictures where I started the project last night with my different solutions, and then additionally I have my group photo of the finished project as well as the individual gummy photos. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what happened, and we'll start with the distilled water. The distilled water, the gummies swelled up pretty big. This is due to osmosis. The water concentration, or the water molecules in the water, were greater than that of what the gummy bear possessed. So it had to equal out, and the gummy absorbed the water instead of just dissolving the gummy, which basically turned my gummy into a gelatinous blob, which you see in the picture. So I also did it in tap water. Now in tap water, my gummy swelled into a really big gelatinous blob. It didn't really have any form, it was just kind of there and made a big pile on the paper. But this happens for the same reasons that this happens in distilled water, but because of the different impurities in tap water, the gummy swells bigger. Specifically in our tap water, we have a lot of impurities, so we got a lot of good swelling. And then finally, the salt water. The bear that was or the gummy placed in the salt water shrank. The salt water has a lower concentration of water molecules because of the 2 tablespoons of salt that I put in it. And when osmosis occurred, it balanced out the concentration of water, which basically kind of shrank the gummy. It pulled from the gummy to the water to equal out, which causes, it's hard to tell in the picture, but my gummy was smaller than when it started. So if I had more time and was deep into the research on this, some of the things I would do, I would use different types of gummies, not just gummy bears, but different manufacturers, well, just fruit gummies, and see if the different items or molecules that make up those have a varying effect, as well as using different types of distilled water. The other thing I would do if I had time before this was due is take my tap water gummy and put it in salt water and see if that shrinks it back to regular size. Either way, that's how I would go forward. I did learn a lot from this project. It was a fun project to do, and it got the family involved. So otherwise, I'll be standing by for any questions you may have. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Remember what it's for, and God bless America.